Hey guys, I'm going to use a new little app that we have here called Coach's Eye and try to point out a few things, just give you some ideas of the things we're looking at when we do coaching cues and when we're giving you guys thoughts. A lot of this stuff you're going to have heard before because it's pretty well universal, but I want to point out some things here with Tim's clean that and actually, he does a push jerk at the end of this one too, so we'll look at that as well. But just maybe we'll use this app from time to time to do some things to help you guys out. But here in the setup, looking pretty good. I'm going to kind of shoot from the hip here, so none of this is like overly professional, but we just want to give resources to help you guys out. Again, in the setup here, looking pretty good. Got the bar close to the shins. His shoulders are directly above the bar, which is a good setup position, but you're going to see here in just a second as I kind of move this forward. So he bears down there, gets a good breath, pulls the traps back to the lats. Right here, see how his rear end comes up a little bit? Now his shoulders are just slightly in front of the bar, and I guess I'm looking at this point for kind of a good start position here so that when we pull from the ground, the hips and shoulders rise at the same time. So that's one piece here. There's a good angle right there in that. Let me see if I can draw on it. Boom, right there. There's one piece. Here's another piece. I like that angle right there. So if we started in that angle, you can see here that bar path there straight up. Shoulder is just slightly in front of that bar right there. So good start position. He gets to that point. Tim and I talked about this right after the lift. He gets to that point, but to get there raises the rear end up just a little bit. Again, not a huge deal. Still gets in a good strong position. Get to this point, you can kind of see his knees go back. We've told you this a lot in a deadlift to get the knees, to let the hips and shoulders rise at the same time. We push the knees back more so than pushing the knees forward and pressing up with the quads. We don't push those knees back. And then load up that hamstring. And then, so Tim moves now into what we would call maybe a little bit of a second dip where those knees rebend. Gets into the high hang position, pulls that bar right up through the hip pocket, and gets a good jump shrug. You can see here, to see what I'm looking for, comes into that toe a little bit early. We tell you guys to pull with the hips, open the hips, squeeze your butt cheeks together before you get into those toes so that you get the full power out of that hip. It comes into those toes a little bit early, but Tim is still strong enough to get that weight up to his chest. Still gets a good long torso, long body. Jump shrug is what we always say there. Liz, I think, used one time violently stand as a cue. That's where we're at here. The bar becomes weightless, and then you see the elbows shoot forward, and then we just duck right underneath the bar. So literally at this point, Tim is just bringing his body under the bar. Not so much that he's pulling the bar up. The hips do that for him. Then Tim just ducks under the bar, throws those elbows high, gets in that good front rack position. Now this is one of the funny things that we laugh at with Tim is this right here. If you see he's up in the toes, we tell you guys to squat in the heels. And you're going to find here in a second, I think this is the video where he does land back in those heels. Yep, there. So we come back into the heels in order to do the front squat. So he recovers well. There actually are some other funnier videos where he's way up in his toes, and we just all laugh about it. It's funny, but hey, he completes the lifts, gets the work done. Here we go. So looking good here, gets back into the heels, has that weight on his shoulders, not in his wrists. You can't see it real good from here, but he's got the weight bar in his fingertips on those shoulders. Drives up with the elbows. Notice his elbow angle doesn't change. That stays the same. If not, right here goes a little bit higher, so that's good. Drives up with those elbows. Going to keep a big chest, good tight torso. Now, throughout this push jerk here, you're going to come. So watch this. Out of the bottom of the front squat, got those elbows high. Now watch where his elbows go for this push jerk. A little bit more vertical. Look at that. Again, we've told you guys that we want everything in the jerk to be going up. Well, that arrow went a little crooked there. So everything going up, so we get the elbows a little more vertical, get the forearms a little more vertical. so that we have all of the momentum from the hips going up. So push jerk again, we get set, got those elbows down and out slightly. It's going to be hard to see in slow motion maybe, but Tim takes a few breaths, and then look at this one, gets the good big breath, fills the belly up with air, clenches it down. That's what we want to see, keep that tight torso. Then on the push press, remember we're going to dip or push jerk. We're going to dip, and then we're going to drive, and then we're going to dip. So that was the full motion. Let me go back here. He gets set, and we're going to dip. Notice on the dip this vertical torso. Again, that's what we want on the vertical torso. We push the knees forward to get that. We don't want to bend at that torso to the point that we're leaning forward at all, because now the weight begins to come forward, and we get pulled forward, we push forward, and Tim even does that slightly here, you'll see at the end of the lift. But got that vertical torso, so again we have everything going up and down, let those hips drive the momentum of the bar up. So gets the dip, and now the violent drive up, and you can't see it here with the bar, but Tim does a great job of clearing his head out of the way so that he doesn't hit himself in the chin. A cue here that we've heard before is going to be look at the ceiling. Heard Chad Vaughn use that at one point. That may not always be necessary, but again, clear the head, push up. So now we get to the top end of the drive with the hips, and if you'll notice, that bar is just about at his chin, maybe eye level, before he starts to duck back under it in order to lock it out. So this is the whole point of the push press, is that we push drive up and then we duck back under the bar. And Tim leans a little forward on this one, has to recover slightly, not a big deal, but walks it forward. We laughed about this one afterwards because he had split jerked everything up to this point, and then here we just get a little push jerk, and I can't remember what weight this is, Tim. I want to say 255, 265 maybe, but I can't remember. So anyway, good solid work done. Get a little laugh out of him at the end there. And there you go. That's Coach's Eye. So we can play with some of these things. We can also tell you guys where we see problems if we do. This one's actually a pretty solid lift from Tim, so I wanted to use that one just to point out some things we can do. So we'll be using this from time to time. Well done, Tim. Thanks for being a guinea pig for us.